If you are a personal trainer or a fitness coach that is struggling to consistently hit $10,000 months, then this video is for you. Welcome to the Empower Your Fitness Empire YouTube channel. All right, you are consistently showing up on social media, right? You on TikTok, you on Instagram, right? Like you're posting, consistently, maybe even a few times, a week, okay? You got your clients, you are serving your clients, you're getting clients really good results, right? But you're still around like that $5K to $7,000 a month, right? And you're giving so much of your time to make this amount of money, right? You working 5 to 7 days a week, okay? Sun up to sundown, virtual trainings, one-on-one, personal trainings, one-on-one, and you still have not made $10,000 a month inside of your business, or you haven't done it consistently. Listen, my name is Harry King Holmes, and I help personal trainers and fitness coaches rapidly scale their fitness business online to 6 figures. All right. Now, what we're going to talk about today is how to consistently hit $10,000 a month inside of your business. All right. Now, before you watch this video, all right, I want you to go back and watch the previous video on how to hit your first $10,000 a month in under 90 days. All right. Now, in that video, we were talking about, of course, you need to have a high ticket offer of $1,000 to $3,000, and then you actually need a launch strategy. And this will allow you to hit $10,000 a month in just 90 days. All right. You don't need to wait 6 months. You'll need to wait 12 months. If you're already somebody and you're full time making $3,000 to $5,000 a month inside of your business, you can make $10,000 within your first 90 days. So let's talk about how to do that consistently. OK, now it's 3 things that you're going to need. All right, 3 things. Let's talk about the first one. The first one is you need an inbound strategy. All right. And most of the time, these are some of the things that you're currently already doing that's got you to that that revenue, right? Where you're currently at right now, right? And there's some things that you can tweak, with your inbound strategy and stuff like that to bring in, not necessarily all the time, right? It's not always about having more leads, right? It's about, really structuring your offer the right way, number one, and your back end. Okay. So your inbound strategy, think of it like this, like you show up on social media, you post in, you're on your story, on your news feed, and you give a call to action, right? If it's DM you or link in bio, right? So that's what an outbound strategy is, right? Now, there are things that you can do on social media specifically where you can really optimize your inbound strategy. All right. So one, you need to figure out where your person is hanging out at. All right. That's number one. All right. And wherever your person is hanging out at, all right, that's where you're going to market. All right. And I'm not talking about going there and saying, hey, I have an online program, sign up, click link in bio. Right. No, like, of course, go back to the other video that we did. Right. You want to show up and you want to serve and give value first. And you need to do it consistently. So you need to have an inbound strategy, and then there needs to be a clear call to action. And you can't be all over the place where, and what I mean by not just a call to action, like, oh, comment below and DM me, blah, 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 right? But a clear place on where you're going to have conversations at. It needs to be a simple and convenient place for the prospect. Sometimes, you know what really grinds my fucking gears? When I go to fitness professionals' pages and they say, no DMs, email me, right? You are missing out on a ton of leads when you do that. And you're making your inbound strategy a lot more complicated for your prospects. You want to make things simple for them. And you need to understand why these conversations are starting here. So one thing that I recommend, especially if you're somebody you're using Instagram and TikTok and things like that, right? You want to funnel them into the conversation being held right there in the Instagram DM. I don't care if you meet somebody on the street, right? I don't care if somebody refers you or whatever the case may be. You want to always funnel that conversation to the Instagram DM for a number of reasons. One, when that conversation happens in the DM and you're going back and forth with a prospect, Instagram sees that and they mark that as engagement. So anytime you post content on social media, It's going to be at the top of their timeline. So now consistently, they are consuming your content organically. Number two is on the back end, when it's time for you to start running retargeting ads, you can specifically target people that you've had a conversation with. So if you know that anybody you've had a conversation with in the DM is a strong lead or a really good potential prospect, you can get right back in front of them with the retargeting ad. All right. So that's another reason why it's very, very important to just funnel them into having a conversation right there in the DM. And then you send them to the next step after you qualify them in the DM. And now you want to get them on an actual Zoom call. Now, number two is you need an outbound strategy. All right. So this is actually key. All right. Because you're like I said, you're probably already doing some inbound things, right? But you can optimize that. But your outbound strategy is actually going to bring you in 80 to 90% of your front end revenue. So imagine how much money you're leaving on the table without having an outbound strategy. So when you're talking about marketing, you need to first figure out where your customer is hanging out at. And this is important for inbound and outbound. So once you find out where your customer is hanging out at on these social media platforms, you can go there specifically and market, right? And what I mean by market, I mean by giving value, not asking for anything. If it's a stranger and you walk up to a stranger and you say, "Can I have $1?" right? Or they're probably going to be like, no, right? We probably see that happen, with people on the street all the time, like with homeless people, right? But imagine if somebody walked up to you and said, "Hey, here's $1." And you'd be like, "Oh, thank you." Right? Now you're probably going to be, interested in hearing what they have to say after they give you that $1. So it's the same thing with marketing on social media. Instead of, like when you're going if you're on the street, giving out money, right? You want to first figure out where's your customers hanging out at. So when you're giving out these dollars, giving out this money, you can make sure that you get something in return on the back end. Think about it like this. I'm okay with giving you $1 right now, right? If I know that on the back end, I'm gonna get $4 or $10 in return. So when you're creating content, it's the same way. All right. Now from an outbound standpoint, you still want to be able to go there and start making connections with people. You want to make connections with people. All right. And you do that. And I'm not talking about just DMing random people and saying, "Hey, would you like to get coaching from me?" Right? Like, no, like I said, you want to be able to give value first. Okay. And value doesn't always have to be in the form of content. Value could be in the form of, just making them smile or making them feel good about the things that they're doing. So when you do that, now they like you. And then you want to get them to be able to know you a little bit, and then you can get to build the trust. So some of you guys are maybe trying to go directly for the trust. But first, you got to get them to like you, get them to know you, and then you can get them to trust you. So having an outbound strategy, right, where you can go to complete strangers, right, get a positive response and move them down the funnel a lot faster. So you could take somebody from being a cold, prospect to being a warm lead, and then eventually, enrolling them into your high ticket fitness offer. So I have a client, right, and he's doing really, really well. He hasn't been working with us for that long, but he's like completely crushing it, right? And I believe that he's already, had a $10,000 a month. So I was talking to him, a couple of days ago, and he was saying, "Man, coach, that's one thing I got to get better at. I got to get better at tracking my numbers. So we have a call with him next week so I can help him and simplify, how to actually track his numbers so he can have a clear target of what he's aiming at. So that's the third thing that I'm getting to. You have to be consistent with your strategies, right? And you have to track your numbers. Tracking your numbers is going to allow you to make data-driven decisions inside of your business, right? You've maybe heard this before, but a lot of times when you're trying to get to $10,000 a month, it's not about you doing any fancy strategies or anything like that. It's about just applying basic and fundamental business practices inside of your business and being consistent with it. It's probably going to be boring, but it is going to get you to the $10,000 a month. And you want to do these things on a weekly and a monthly basis, right? Because think about it like this. As you're elevating in your business, right, you're becoming a much important person, and important people make decisions, high level decisions. So you don't want to just make these high level decisions based on how you feel. You probably have, kids, a spouse, a relationship, all other things going on that's outside of your business. And you don't want those things. Those things are not always gonna be smooth sailing, right? Relationships is you got good and bad, you got highs and lows. All right. So when you're operating your business, you can't allow things outside of life to allow you to make a bad decision in your business. So you want to make sure that you're tracking the data so that you can make sure that you are continuously scaling your business in the right direction. All right. So overall, you need an inbound and outbound strategy. You want to make sure that you're being consistent with this strategy, and you want to make sure that you are tracking your numbers so you can make data-driven decisions. Listen, if you found this video valuable to you and your business, go ahead, like and subscribe, share it with another fitness professional, and I will see you in the next video.